There comes a moment, often around 60, when a man looks in the mirror and wonders when his energy changed, when his confidence shifted, when his body started speaking a little louder than his ambition. But aging is not a surrender, it is an invitation to tune in, recalibrate, and choose practices that support strength from the inside out. Reframing aging as a stage of renewed control, strength, and confidence means shifting the narrative men often hear about growing older. For many, reaching 60 can feel like crossing an invisible threshold where expectations change. Strength is assumed to decline, energy is expected to fade, and certain parts of health are treated as irreversible. But this mindset is not only limiting, it overlooks the remarkable adaptability of the human body and the resilience men carry into their later decades. Aging is not a countdown, it is a transition, and like all transitions, it can be shaped with intention. This perspective encourages men to see their 60s not as a period of loss, but as a time when they finally have the insight, self-awareness, and discipline to make decisions that genuinely serve their bodies. When reframed this way, aging becomes an opportunity to take back ownership of one's health. Instead of passively accepting changes in energy, mood, or physical performance, men can approach these shifts with curiosity and strategy. The experience of 60-plus years provides a powerful advantage, a deep understanding of one's habits, stressors, strengths, and motivations. With this clarity, changes are not made blindly, they are made with purpose. Whether it's adopting a consistent sleep routine, improving dietary choices, staying active, or incorporating simple natural foods with intention, each adjustment becomes a deliberate act of empowerment. This mindset rejects the idea that vitality is reserved for youth and embraces the truth that well-being at 60 is shaped by the choices made today. Reframing aging also helps dismantle the stigma around discussing men's health. Many men grow up believing they must endure changes in silence, that speaking about fatigue, reduced drive, or shifting physical performance somehow diminishes their masculinity. But acknowledging these changes does the opposite. It allows them to rebuild strength with clarity. Understanding the body's signals is not weakness, it is wisdom. When men see aging as a stage where awareness becomes an asset, they begin making decisions that support long-term vitality rather than avoiding the topic altogether. Finally, seeing aging through this lens encourages men to reconnect with a sense of agency that might have been overshadowed by years of work, responsibility, and routine. With fewer external pressures and a stronger understanding of what truly matters, this stage of life offers the chance to rebuild energy and confidence from the inside out, guided by intention rather than expectation. Highlighting holistic health means recognizing that true vitality isn't found in a single ingredient, supplement, or a shortcut, but in the interconnected systems of the body working in harmony. For men over 60, this approach becomes especially important because the body's needs shift with age. Metabolism slows, muscle mass naturally declines, recovery takes longer, and hormones change. Instead of looking for one miracle solution, focusing on holistic health encourages men to support the fundamentals: nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, and emotional well-being. So every part of the body has what it needs to function at its best. It is a mindset that values consistency over quick fixes and long-term wellness over temporary boosts, guiding men toward practices that help sustain energy, clarity, and strength. Nutrition plays a central role in this holistic view. Foods rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, fiber, and essential vitamins support cellular health, circulation, and hormonal balance. Natural ingredients like raw honey can fit into this framework as sources of micronutrients and natural energy, but they become truly meaningful only when combined with broader dietary choices that nourish the body. Hydration, balanced meals, and mindful eating patterns all contribute to steady vitality rather than dramatic highs and lows. This comprehensive approach ensures that the body is not just fueled but supported in ways that keep systems functioning smoothly. Movement is another essential piece, not just for physical strength, but also for cardiovascular health, mood, and metabolic function. Men who incorporate consistent activities, whether walking, strength training, stretching, or more structured exercise, often notice improvements in energy, sleep quality, and overall confidence. Movement encourages better blood flow, which supports numerous aspects of health that naturally shift after 60. It also helps maintain independence, stability, and a sense of physical capability, all of which contribute to feeling grounded and empowered. Sleep and stress management are equally critical aspects of holistic health. Quality sleep allows the body to repair tissues, regulate hormones, and maintain cognitive clarity. Stress, when unmanaged, can drain energy and impact everything from appetite to cardiovascular function. Incorporating calming routines such as deep breathing, meditation, light evening stretches, or simply establishing a consistent bedtime can significantly enhance daily well-being. Emotional and mental health also play a major role, influencing motivation, focus, and resilience. Taken together, these elements create an approach to wellness that supports a man's entire being, allowing him to experience not just temporary improvements, but a more balanced and sustainable form of vitality that carries him confidently through the stage of life. Using raw honey as a symbol of natural nourishment and intentional living means shifting the focus away from the idea that one ingredient alone can transform health, and instead viewing it as a reminder of how small, thoughtful choices contribute to overall well-being. Raw honey has long been valued for its natural sweetness and trace nutrients, but in the context of men's health after 60, it represents something deeper, the power of simple, consistent habits to support vitality. When men incorporate something natural and wholesome into their routine, it reinforces the idea that caring for the body doesn't always require complicated strategies. Instead, it can begin with mindful decisions that respect what the body needs. Raw honey becomes meaningful when it is paired with balanced nutrition and lifestyle practices. Its natural sugars can provide gentle energy, especially useful in the morning or before light activity without relying on heavily processed alternatives. But the key is not the honey itself, it is the intention behind using it. Adding raw honey to a herbal tea, yogurt, or whole grain breakfast can serve as a daily ritual that reminds men to nourish themselves with purpose. This mindset encourages a shift from reactive approaches to health, waiting for problems to arise, to proactive self-care that supports the body every day. This symbolism also highlights the importance of choosing natural, minimally processed options whenever possible. For men after 60, digestion, metabolism, and overall energy balance can become more sensitive to the types of foods they consume. Replacing overly refined sugars or artificial sweeteners with a natural option like raw honey can be a small but meaningful step towards supporting more stable energy levels, better digestion, and healthier eating patterns. Again, the power lies not in the ingredient alone, but in adopting a lifestyle where natural, whole foods become a priority. Raw honey also represents slowing down and being intentional. Many men in their 60s spent decades in fast-paced routines, often prioritizing work and responsibilities over personal well-being. Incorporating something simple and natural into a daily habit encourages mindfulness, a moment to pause, notice what the body needs, and make choices aligned with long-term health. This act of intentionality carries over into other areas, choosing to stay active, hydrating well, getting enough rest, and paying attention to the body's signals. In this way, raw honey becomes a small but powerful symbol of a larger shift towards steady, consistent self-care that supports strength, energy, and confidence over time, empowering men over 60 to take small, consistent steps toward improved vitality. Begins with recognizing that transformation doesn't have to come from dramatic changes or overwhelming routines. In fact, lasting progress is far more likely when men start with choices that feel manageable and sustainable. Many men at this stage of life are navigating changes in energy, strength, or motivation, and the idea of overhauling their lifestyle can feel intimidating or discouraging. But when health is approached through small, intentional actions, adding a daily walk, choosing whole foods, practicing simple stretches, or incorporating something natural like raw honey into a balanced morning routine, those steps gradually build momentum. Each small improvement contributes to a greater sense of control and confidence, showing that vitality is not out of reach, it grows through steady effort. These small steps matter because the body responds positively to consistency. Even minor adjustments, when repeated over time, can support better circulation, clearer thinking, improved mood, and more stable energy. For example, adding 10 minutes of light exercise daily can influence muscle tone and cardiovascular health. Drinking an extra glass of water can help digestion and reduce fatigue. Choosing a nutrient-dense breakfast can stabilize energy for the rest of the day. Individually, these changes may seem insignificant, but together they create a foundation that supports long-term wellness. When men understand that they do not need to compete with their younger selves or chase unrealistic expectations, they are more likely to adopt and maintain habits that genuinely improve their quality of life. This approach also empowers men emotionally. After 60, it is common to feel as though certain aspects of health are beyond their control, especially when facing changes related to aging. But small actions restore a sense of agency. They prove that personal decisions made daily impact how the body feels and functions. This shift from feeling passive to feeling purposeful can significantly enhance motivation. As each step becomes a natural part of the routine, confidence grows, and the desire to build on that progress strengthens. It becomes less about what has changed with age and more about what can be improved with intention. By embracing small, consistent steps, men create a pathway toward greater vitality without overwhelm. These manageable choices accumulate, leading to meaningful improvements that support strength, energy, and an empowered sense of well-being rooted in daily commitment rather than drastic transformation. Encouraging evidence-based thinking, while remaining open to simple lifestyle shifts, means guiding men to approach their health with both curiosity and clarity. After 60, it's common to encounter a flood of advice, some helpful, some misleading, and some promising quick, dramatic results that rarely hold up under scientific scrutiny. Evidence-based thinking helps men filter through this information with confidence. It emphasizes understanding how the body works, what research actually supports, and which habits genuinely contribute to long-term vitality. Instead of relying on miracle solutions or assumptions about aging, this mindset invites men to ask questions, seek reliable information, and make choices that align with how their bodies respond in real life. Being evidence-driven doesn't mean eliminating trust in natural or traditional approaches. It means evaluating them thoughtfully. For example, natural ingredients like raw honey may not be magic cures, but they can still play a role in supporting energy and overall nourishment when used within a balanced lifestyle. Evidence-based thinking allows men to appreciate such ingredients for what they are, tools, not solutions. It encourages them to consider how these tools fit into broader habits such as improving sleep, staying active, reducing stress, and eating nutrient-dense foods. In this way, they remain open to simple shifts without being misled by exaggerated claims or unrealistic expectations. This mindset also empowers men to understand their own bodies more deeply. Instead of assuming low energy or changing strength is an unavoidable consequence of aging, they can explore the factors that influence these shifts. Hormone balance, circulation, muscle mass, sleep quality, hydration, and stress all play significant roles. When men approach their health through the lens of cause and effect, rather than resignation, they naturally become more engaged in finding sustainable solutions. Evidence-based thinking transforms health from something that happens to them into something they can influence with daily choices. Remaining open to simple lifestyle shifts adds flexibility to this approach. It acknowledges that perfection isn't required for progress. Men can start with small, realistic habits, adjusting morning routines, choosing whole foods, taking short walks, practicing deep breathing, or adding nourishing ingredients with intention. These simple shifts complement an evidence-based mindset by offering immediate, accessible steps that support long-term wellness. Together, this balance of scientific awareness and practical action helps men develop a grounded, empowered approach to their health that strengthens their vitality, confidence, and overall quality of life. As they move through this stage of life, inviting men to reclaim ownership of their bodies, habits, and daily well-being is about helping them recognize that health is not something that drifts further out of reach with age. It is something they can actively shape with the decisions they make every day. For many men over 60, years of routine, responsibility, and external demands can create a sense of disconnect from their own needs. They may have spent decades prioritizing work, family, or obligations while pushing aside their physical and emotional wellness. Reclaiming ownership means shifting that pattern, acknowledging that their health deserves attention, and understanding that it is never too late to make meaningful changes. It encourages men to reconnect with their intuition, listen to their bodies, and value the daily practices that support vitality. This mindset empowers men by reinforcing the idea that they have a significant influence over how they feel, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Small habits such as choosing nourishing foods, staying hydrated, incorporating natural ingredients with intention, or engaging in consistent movement can help rebuild the connection between action and outcome. When men see how these choices improve their energy, strength, and confidence, it reinforces a loop of positive reinforcement. This sense of ownership becomes a powerful source of motivation. Instead of passively accepting changes that come with age, men learn to respond to those changes with clarity and purpose, making decisions that align with their long-term goals for well-being. Reclaiming ownership also encourages self-awareness. It invites men to notice patterns that no longer serve them, such as poor sleep routines, high stress levels, or long periods of inactivity, and replace them with habits that support longevity. This approach emphasizes responsibility without judgment. It isn't about regretting past choices. It's about consciously shaping future ones. When men take an active role in their health journey, they develop a deeper appreciation for their body's signals and a clearer understanding of what enhances their vitality. This perspective fosters emotional resilience as well. Feeling in control of one's habits creates a foundation of confidence that extends beyond physical health. Men begin to view themselves not as passive observers of aging, but as engaged participants in their own evolution. This sense of agency can elevate their daily experience, bringing more purpose into routines, more intention into choices, and more energy into the activities that matter to them. Reclaiming ownership becomes a path toward renewed strength, clarity, and a deeper connection to the life they want to lead.